Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's my review for Ultimate Spider-Man issue 12 and Hack Slash, my first Maniac 2. Now, I'm going to do the Ultimate Spider-Man first, because this actually was a real disappointment for me. I've been liking Spider-Man, the way the story was going, but then when I saw this, I was like, we just had this in Amazing Spider-Man, where the Chameleon, excuse me, swapped places with Peter Parker, and then he had basically, in a sense, raped his roommate. So just by looking at this cover, I'm like, it's the same thing all over again. Just now it's Mary Jane, and pretty much, I mean, it doesn't quite happen that way, but I'll go into it. There are spoilers, so if you haven't read your books, you're probably gonna want to come back. I'm gonna go kind of quick on this, but basically, you have a long cab ride going back to Peter's house. And Peter makes the move on Mary Jane, and she's like, what the F are you doing? And Peter kicks her out of the cab. Or, sorry, she leaves the cab. She asks to be pulled over. And he's okay with that. So, he basically stops the cab before he gets to the house, and takes the money from the cab driver. When you get into the house, he's like, what the hell is going on here? What type of house is this? Why is he even living here? Why the hell is his aunt talking the way she's talking about? Why is the house so cold? And now why is it hot? And if you notice, that was the scenes where Bobby and Johnny come in. He finally finds the attic, and he sees all this. He can't really do anything because he can't get into the computer. He knows that he's a little brainiac kid. And now this is where it really started to suck, because my copy, it got faded. Gwen comes in, they kind of make out a little bit. He mentions what happened with Mary Jane. And what's important here is, he doesn't know who she is. He thinks she's a cousin, or maybe it's a cousin or something like that. And, Gwen goes storming off, all pissed off. They find the cab that Peter was in, and then basically the Chameleon guy, murdered the guy. Next day at school, Peter makes another move on Mary Jane. People go, what the hell is going on? Especially Gwen. And when he gets back home, Aunt May finds out about his extracurricular activities, and she's like, I told you not to do that. And he's like, he's thinking, what are you talking about? Then he realizes that there's something hidden, finds the chest, breaks it open, discovers his identity, calls the person that they hit jackpot, and Spidey's got a gun. I don't know, I really hate this storyline. I'm not gonna buy the next issue. I'm just not feeling it. And also, I think Peter looks like an ass in this, really. I mean, I guess that's what their intent is, but it's really disturbing when I look at it. Next up is Hack Slash, My First Maniac number 2. Now, this was an awesome issue. Now, if you remember, Hack Slash number 1, or this whole series is basically Cassie before she becomes like the true serial killer who kills serial killers type thing. Or you know what I mean by serial killer, like those monsters. And you have her working out here, and then she goes to work at a bar because she knows that those types of creatures of the night, like Freddy and Jason, are attracted to horny teenagers. And so she's studying. And then right near this general area, there's a farm where there's a local legend where a farmer had this really hot daughter, and then people were trying to get a viewing, constantly sneaking into the farm to try to get a view of her. And the farmer one day decided to basically trap the boys, and then he killed them. And what they did was he strung them up on scarecrows, and then, of course, the town people didn't take likely to it, so they hung themselves. Ever since then, strange, mysterious things have happened. Well, she's staking out the high school, and then blah 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 bored. The next day, at night, she's near that club that she works at, and then some kid's getting beat up. So eventually she jumps in and saves the kid, and she makes some new friends along the way. Now, she makes them think that, she's going to high school, and she's working at that club. So they're like, okay, cool, well, how about this, meet me at the school later, and, during fifth period or whatever, and we'll hang out. Well, that night, she has a dream about her mother, and that's a jacked up picture right there. So, she wakes up traumatized. She doesn't have school clothes, so she wears that uniform for her old school. And then her new friend's like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, her name's Sarah. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, well, I didn't have any other thing to wear, and I'm new here, so this is all I had. And they're like, whatever. So, anyways, they go off. At nighttime, the two guys who were beating up that gay guy, and I mean that as he really was gay, and then that's why they were beating him up. It was in the middle of a hate crime. So anyways, they heard of a party on the equivalent of their Facebook, and so they go to this, what they think is the location. And inside the barn, they see all these old video games. And inside there, one game appears to be turned on, even though they don't think it's plugged in. They think that, there's something's not quite right, so they leave the barn. Now, this guy's actually kind of more spooked because a crow thing goes flying in front of him, takes off. And he runs right into some barbed wire. Then somebody comes with a hammer and takes care of them both. Well, the other side of the farm is the party. And you can see she's got a new wardrobe, everything's cool, they're having a great time. And somebody's kind of scared because of the scarecrow, but they don't realize that that's what's going on. And I'm really liking Hack Slash. I thought the art's not the greatest in the world, but, for what it is, I think it's fine. It's bloody, if you like blood. There's going to be some violence, if you like that kind of stuff. If you like horror movies and things like that, this would be a perfect fit for you. I don't think this is as strong as the first issue was, but the first issue actually established this is the character, and I thought they did a great job at establishing character. This is the issue where, okay, now we know who she is, well, now let's go ahead and we'll start the storyline. So this is more like, more of a first issue in that plot sense. Overall, like I said, I really, really liked it. It's not for everybody, though. I can tell you that much right now, because there's a lot of violence, monsters, blood, gore, things like that. So if you're more of a traditional superhero type, maybe this might be more your speed. But personally, I'd rather buy this one. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it on the side. Which horror movie would you want to see in Hack Slash? Personally, even though I would like to see Jason more, just because, Jason has that soft spot for me, I wouldn't mind seeing her going after the Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead, Leatherface. Subscribe to the channel, and until next time.